why Kawaki must die at the hands of Momoshiki. Or more accurately, how would it be even more tragic and heartbreaking if Naruto and Hinata end up trapped forever in Daikuten? Yeah, at least that's a super relevant title to represent this whole video for the next few minutes. I'm Nim without the E. Please help me push the algorithm with 100 likes or 1K hype points. And once again, thanks so much, guys. So yeah, in this case, try to imagine, what if Boruto's ending turns out not to be about Boruto getting his life back? What if it's not what we've all been predicting, like Boruto using his Jugun abilities to save himself and rewrite the fate he swapped with Kawaki? In other words, what if it's not about Konoha finally realizing the truth that Boruto isn't the killer of the 8th Hokage? Or if you're holding out hope for Boruto and Kawaki to eventually make peace like Naruto and Sasuke did. Sorry to break it to you, but it might be the complete opposite. Kawaki dies at the hands of Momoshiki. Naruto never comes back from Daikuten, and Boruto has to live until the very end knowing that everything he fought so hard for was something he could never actually save. Once again, for the next few minutes, I want you guys to look at this from a few different perspectives. Regardless of how it actually plays out, the single biggest hope for most fans is that Boruto's ending will be the absolute polar opposite of Naruto's. And honestly, I think that's exactly where Boruto's greatest tragedy lies. Because up until now, we've always thought Boruto's ultimate suffering was the whole world forgetting him, losing his home, his friends, his family, and even his identity as the Hokage's son. But if we think deeper, maybe all of that still isn't enough. Because Boruto still has one thing keeping him afloat, the hope that everything can still be fixed. So back to the main point, why must Kawaki die? If we look at Boruto and Kawaki's relationship from the start, they were essentially written as two characters with almost the exact same goal. Both of them desperately want to protect Naruto. The difference is, the way they go about it is completely night and day. Boruto believes Naruto should be protected without sacrificing anyone else. Kawaki, on the other hand, is a realistic character born out of a sudden surge of love and hope that ultimately turned obsessive. He believes that as long as Naruto is safe, anything and anyone can be thrown away. And that's what makes their dynamic so fascinating. Kawaki isn't just Boruto's rival, he represents an alternate reality. What if Boruto chose Kawaki's path? Yeah, I know that's hard to swallow. But if Naruto's ending gave us Naruto and Sasuke going all out just to settle their conflict, Boruto could do something we've never even imagined. Boruto and Kawaki might still clash in one final fight, but this time there's no reconciliation, no holding hands, no Naruto successfully bringing Sasuke back. And maybe that's precisely why Kawaki's death becomes so crucial. Because Kawaki is a character who spent his entire life terrified of losing Naruto. Ironically, the very person he tried hardest to protect becomes the reason he loses everything in the end. And there's one possibility I find super intriguing. What if Kawaki doesn't die because of Boruto, but because of Momoshiki? I think we need to recall that past deal between Boruto and Momoshiki. At that point, Momoshiki seemed to realize one thing. If Boruto gave him his body in exchange for power, especially if Boruto actually managed to destroy Jura, then eventually Kawaki would most likely be the one to kill Boruto. I mean, Momoshiki. And that's why Momoshiki stated that he would blink Kawaki the moment he was finally free. And yep, I know the exact odds of how Boruto would surrender his body to Momoshiki are still a complete mystery and a massive plot twist. But just picture Momoshiki finally getting the chance to completely take over Boruto's body at the exact moment Boruto is at his weakest. The first person trying to stop him would obviously be Kawaki. Not because Kawaki magically turned into a good guy, but because of the one thing inside him that never changes, his drive to eradicate all Otsutsuki. Kawaki knows that if Momoshiki takes over Boruto, the threat becomes infinitely worse. So for the very first time, Kawaki and Boruto would actually be standing on the same side. But the outcome is still tragic. Momoshiki succeeds in killing Kawaki, and this is where the real tragedy kicks in. As a pretty solid theory, let's look at an alternate scenario where, right after Momoshiki breaks free, there's a plot twist where Boruto manages to regain consciousness. Except, it's already too late. Boruto hasn't just lost his brother, he's lost the person who was the biggest source of conflict in his life. The guy who stole his identity, the guy who made him hunted by the entire world, but at the same time, someone he once truly considered a brother. And with Kawaki dead, what happens to Naruto? Now, this part is even crazier in my opinion. Long before the Two Blue Vortex era began, Naruto was sealed away in the Daikoken dimension. If Naruto is genuinely stuck there with zero way out, then narratively speaking, he's in a wildly unique spot. He's technically alive, but to the outside world, he basically doesn't exist anymore. Honestly, that might be the ultimate punishment for Boruto. Boruto lost his home, his identity, his friends, and everyone's trust. But through all of it, he had one single anchor to hold on to. His dad is still alive. Even if Naruto isn't by his side, even if Naruto has no clue what's happening out in the world, Boruto can still say, "My dad is out there." But what if, by the very end of the story, Naruto never comes back? What if Boruto finally realizes that while he managed to save the world, he failed to save his own father? And what hurts even more is that Naruto might never even know what happened to Boruto after he got sealed. In this scenario, Boruto becomes the total opposite of Naruto. Think about it. Let's compare the two. At the end of Naruto, Naruto and Sasuke fought to the absolute brink of death, completely tearing each other apart. But in the end, that fight didn't lead to loss, led to mutual understanding. Yeah, you guys know what I mean. Naruto brought Sasuke back. Sasuke finally acknowledged Naruto, and two people standing on opposite sides ended up walking the same path together. It was a complete victory for their bond. Boruto could take that exact same formula and flip it on its head. Boruto and Kawaki could reach that same extreme clash, but this time one of them actually dies. No reconciliation, no second chances. No Naruto stepping in to save them because Naruto can't even come back himself. If the writers truly want to make Boruto's ending hit with maximum bittersweet tragedy, this is one of the most effective ways to do it. Boruto isn't a kid waiting for his dad to come home anymore. He's grown into someone capable of protecting the entire world. Yet despite all that power, he still can't bring his father home. On the flip side, from a different perspective, there's another really interesting analogy. Big disclaimer though, this is just a wild theory. What if, in that final battle, Kawaki actually gets a clean chance to kill Boruto? Like literally has the kill shot, but tragically, he doesn't take it. Because deep down, after all the hatred, misunderstandings, and his obsessive need to wipe out every Otsutsuki, including Boruto, Kawaki still sees Boruto as his brother. So when Momoshiki takes over, Kawaki chooses to sacrifice himself instead, giving Boruto a fighting chance to survive. If this happens, Kawaki's death becomes a form of redemption. It doesn't mean everything he did was suddenly right. Quite the opposite. He dies realizing his obsession with Naruto destroyed far too much. And the person he ultimately chooses to protect is Boruto, his own brother. That would make Kawaki's death way more meaningful than just dying in a random battle, because Kawaki finally does the one thing he struggled with his whole life, protecting someone without needing to possess or cage them. Like I said earlier, this is all just a what-if scenario and breakdown. We know Koji mentioned that even though there's a future timeline where Kawaki dies at the hands of Jura, things can still branch out into completely different destinies, right? So, to wrap things up, of course, all of this is still just a theory. There's zero official confirmation that Kawaki will die by Momoshiki's hand, though Momoshiki did explicitly state he'd kill Kawaki once he's truly free. There's also no guarantee Naruto will stay trapped in Daikokuten forever, and we don't know if Boruto's ending will actually be this dark and tragic. But looking at the overarching narrative structure of Naruto versus Boruto, a darker, more bittersweet ending makes a ton of sense to consider. Naruto ended with two best friends fighting to near death, only to find their way back to each other. Boruto could end with two brothers doing the exact same thing, except one never makes it back. Naruto successfully brought Sasuke home. Boruto might just have to accept that he can't bring Kawaki back. Naruto had his family and friends surrounding him at the end. Boruto might have to move forward alone, carrying the heavy memory of everyone he couldn't save. Honestly, if Boruto actually ends like this, the story doesn't need a picture-perfect happy ending, because Boruto's journey was never about getting his old life back to begin with. It's about a kid who lost literally everything, but still chooses to stand tall on his own 2 feet. Though, if I had to choose to end this entire franchise, it would be insanely compelling if Boruto truly loses his entire life. No happy ending, just a raw, definitive wrap-up. But the author plans to keep the series going. There's probably a massive plot twist coming that none of us could ever predict or imagine, right? Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So does Kawaki actually have to die? And who will be the one to truly kill him? Or will he survive all the way until the end of the series? Yeah, whatever happens, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Nim without the E. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, Data Bio.